one of the messages in it that is very clear that is that you are addressing what's going on in Russia with the LGBT community, and it seems as though that sent a very big message to the world that we are watching. Do you think that it's changed anything for people in Russia?
I'll be honest, I don't think all that much has changed. It's very hard to get a gauge on kind of societal mentality or cultural mentality as well. Also, media is state-owned in Russia too, and so I'm not sure. I would like to hope that I think there's slowly it's moving back towards something a bit more progressive, but I'm not sure.
I mean, we can only pray.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, I can see that you're very into supporting gay rights. Why is that such an important issue for you?
For me, I saw it as a human rights thing and a very kind of cut and dry human rights issue. And I'm not sure what it was that there was an organisation called allout.org which and things like Human Rights Watch, which were kind of documenting a very slow descent in Russia into institutionalized homophobia on a extreme scale. And I think I just had been following that, and why there's kind of a latent or an accepted kind of passive homophobia that is kind of throughout your own society. And I don't know.
Unacceptable becomes acceptable just by human nature rather than by what's right and what's wrong. You kind of see in a cultural mentality, or just there is an accepted sense of othering another group of people. So in this case, homophobia or whatever. But I especially growing up in school or high school, you're kind of, for me, it didn't sit right, increasingly so. And then after following what was going on in Russia, I think we had an opportunity to kind of shed some light on that. And what was frightening about Russia is that it's not that far from home. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in Europe, and and cultures like that cross borders, and they have done in the past. This kind of scapegoating of and othering of one group in society, and that has happened before in the past in Europe not that long ago. And not to get too deep, but we're watching it with a whole other group of people as well right now. And it's something I really want to hit on, in the fact that it always blows my mind that Ireland was one of the last countries to legalize divorce, but the first country to legalize gay marriage.
Yeah.
Which is such a oxymoron. It doesn't quite make sense to me how.
I'm very proud of that the nation kind of stood up, and it was a landslide. Only last year it was a 70% in favour of legalising gay marriage. But it is true, divorce law, contraception, it was even down to homosexual acts being illegal, I think, up until maybe the 70s or 80s.
I think it still went into the 80s.
Yeah. How quickly that turned around, I think, was the difference, I suppose, the difference between the Ireland that my generation grew up in and the Ireland that my parents or my parents' grew up in.
Very different.
Very, very different. And I think the influence of the church as well has shifted a lot. So less so for my generation, and I think people are kind of pulling the wool from their eyes a little bit.
When you think about only just when I was in school, even parts of Ireland that you couldn't go to that now you can, and how quickly that perception changed, almost as if it was overnight. And I think it shows a great example of how when people come together, I know that Ireland is a smaller country, but when people come together and they stand up for what they believe in, how change really can happen.
Yeah.
And I think just my opinion, is that what you try to convey in your music?
I think if nothing else, say with something like Take Me to Church, if only to get people talking about it, and I think that's always the first kind of challenges. I think people can come together and want to, and I think there is goodwill there, but I think people need to be aware of it and need to talk about it first before change can happen.
Hey guys, Larry here. Thanks for watching me. Be sure to check out some of my other favorite Larry King Now moments right here, and tune in to new episodes Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on demand on Aura TV and Hulu.